Well, well, well. Another video. And it's probably about Elden. Let's just get straight to the point.
Swimming.
No. Swim. Swim, you can do it. Yeah. Swimming as a feature in video games has been around for a long time. Now, whether it's a good feature or a bad one, that's generally up to you to decide. For me, no matter how good the mechanics or how well put together the water levels are, I always end up dreading them. And that's because they always put the creepiest freaking monsters they could possibly think of in the water. Now, I guess that really does just come with the territory, but come on guys, could you tone it down just a little bit, please?
Nope.
So aside from the all-encompassing fear of what is
megalahydrothalassophobia,
I do generally enjoy underwater levels. They quite literally and figuratively add a whole nother layer of depth to the world. And you know, that's nice to see. There's much more to explore, there's more enemies to fight, and there's generally more things to do. So you can imagine my earth-shattering surprise when I found out that there would be no swimming in Elden Ring. This can't be. That's right. No swimming in Elden Ring. Now, we all remember swimming from Dark Souls. Now, we all remember swimming from Sekiro. It was there, right off the bat. And it was actually pretty good, too. Not to mention it got even better as you played throughout the game and unlocked more abilities. Being able to dive gave you access to more items, extensive lore, and like 5 of the headless mini-bosses. It was a good overall feature to include, and personally I believe it's one of the cherries on top that makes Sekiro such a good game. So why wasn't swimming included in Elden Ring? Couldn't they have just slapped it in the old converter and switched it over to the new game? I mean, they got the same door animation in every game. Swimming shouldn't be too difficult to convert. Well, I'm no video game scientist, and I actually have no idea if they ever intended to add swimming to Elden Ring. But it honestly doesn't take a genius to figure out why it wasn't included. Too much water. There's water everywhere, man. And I'm not even just talking about the ocean. We've got Larnia, we got Limgrave, all these ponds and rivers. There's moats, and there's also this frozen lake. And also, I don't know if you guys knew this, but this entire middle area is actually just a lake. Yeah, there's a giant waterfall here. So it's technically a giant lake or a sea. So yeah, populate that with a bunch of swimming content and we'll have ourselves Swim Souls 4. Essentially, you'd be more than doubling the playable surface of the game. Not to mention, it would completely disrupt the flow of the areas we already have. Lakes aren't usually 6 inches deep, and so having them made deeper would eliminate boss battles and torrent riding. Not to mention there would have to be some other form of vehicle besides torrent to get you across the deep water at a reasonable speed. So what, Melena's estranged half-sister, Belena, shows up in her spirit yacht when you enter Larnia? Nah, I think it's more likely we get a rideable turtle or a tamed lobster to zip us around. Souls games have never been about underwater exploration. Sure, Sekiro is complemented greatly by its underwater features, but for an action game, the underwater levels are the slowest, least action-filled, and emptiest parts included. As is the case with most games that have underwater levels. They're usually small parts, maybe filled with puzzles or a couple items, and 1 or 2 enemies. And that's really just the way it is, because, you know, humans live on land. We're hindered by water, and there's really not much reason to go down there. And so unless the game is specifically built around water, the swimming feature is always going to be secondary and not very important. The fact that Elden Ring is a massive open-world game is exactly why there's no swimming included. Why would you create this intricate and diverse lands between, and then fill the rest with dull water level? It's not something that would be a good use of FromSoftware's time. They're a company that likes to do things right. They take passion and put it into their work, and you can really see that reflected in Elden Ring. But it's clear from playing any of the games that where their passion shines the brightest is in the storytelling and their established Souls-like gameplay formula. Swimming fit Sekiro well, and it was a viable option for them to include in the game. Could it have been included in Elden Ring? Yes, absolutely, I believe so. The game might look a little different, but it would still be really, really cool. However, it would have taken too long to give Elden Ring water levels just as good or even better than Sekiro. And had FromSoftware decided to include swimming as a feature, we would still be waiting for Elden Ring to release. Another thing to consider is that even though Sekiro was released in 2019, 3 whole years before Elden Ring, the two games were most likely under development at the same time. And with Sekiro being their first game ever to include a swimming feature, they probably decided pretty early on not to implement it into Elden Ring, and to leave Sekiro as the guinea pig for said feature. And no one can really say it's bad. I mean, just go online and look up video games with swimming, and Sekiro is bound to be on that list or in that article, along with Subnautica and some other ones. So no, we didn't see swimming in Elden Ring, and we probably never will. It would be kind of weird for them to throw in a whole new feature for a DLC, so I'm just gonna say that's not gonna happen. I do, however, strongly believe that in the next Souls game, whatever it might be, we will have a swimming feature, and it will be well ingrained into the game. Now, whether that be Elden Ring 2 or a new IP, only time will tell. It's probably not going to be in Bloodborne 2 though, because that would just feel kind of weird. It is fun to speculate, however, and to imagine how the features would work. I mean, I would be kind of surprised if FromSoftware didn't expound upon what they did with Sekiro and swimming. Well everyone, this is about where I wrap up the video. I know it was shorter, and it's been a couple months since I last posted, but this was a topic I actually really wanted to talk about, and as a result, the video took a more serious tone. And hey, I think that's alright. It can't all just be goofs and gaffs, you know? I feel like for people who are fans of the game, this is definitely something they wondered about, but weren't too concerned with, just because of how great the rest of the game was. There was probably a hint of disappointment when you realized you couldn't swim to this island, and the drop off to the abyss might be a little jarring. But you know, the game works without it. It just works. To me, it's pretty clear why they didn't include swimming in the game, and hopefully that came across clearly in the video. But hey, if any of you guys have thoughts on the topic, please leave your comments down below. I do read and go through all of them, and I appreciate very much the support that I've received. Please do subscribe if you want more Elden Ring content. I do plan to upload more frequently than I have been. I'm going to cover the DLCs when they get announced and continue with content that's similar to what I've been doing. So if you like that, please support the channel and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Indeed, so long.